Corruption and other forms of human rights violations exhibited in the year 2021 was also a concern to the clergy.
We pray for the land, which is already Christ, that those who bear responsibility for the well-being of the nations may be inspired by the message of Christmas to work together in the cause of justice, freedom, and peace.
State Minister for Information, Communications and Technology, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo, and the Nabagereko of Buganda, Sylvia Naginda, Buganda Luchiko Speaker Patrick Luaga Mugumbule, among others, participated in the day's prayers.
I'm appealing to everybody from today that Jesus came to bring peace and everybody to love each other so that we can have a peaceful country. Because God loves people when they are happy, when they understand Him, and to spread the gospel of God to everybody so that they can move as good citizens of this country.
As we look forward, next year, the month of January, our children are going back to school. They have been away from school for the last 2 years, so they have lost a lot. When they lose, it's us also parents who lose. So I call upon all parents to observe these procedures and don't forget that the other diseases or ailments are still around.
Other sections of the congregation were equally happy to celebrate the day.
People still need to celebrate the birth of Christ. It means a lot to them. So in the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of difficulties, hard time, celebrations like these bring a bit of cohesion. They bring people together, so that maybe people can not forget about the bad times, but at least have a sense of hope.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The chairperson Uganda Episcopal Conference, also in Mityana, Bishop Dr. Anthony Ziwa, has condemned the continued acts of human rights abuse as witnessed this year. Ziwa was presiding over this year's Christmas prayers at Chiyi in the Mityana Diocese, and in attendance was the Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba, who rallied the congregation to embrace the national-wide COVID-19 vaccination program.
The Catholic community have this Saturday flogged the Kinda Mityana Catholic Church to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The High Mass was led by the chairperson Uganda Episcopal Conference, who also serves as the diocesan ordinary, Bishop Dr. Anthony Ziwa.
tusanga abantu abamu tebasakitibwa mu bulamu bw'abantu bannaabwe naddala mu buzisi w'emisango omubbi bwadde n'amenya ennyumba ya munne mawulire kyagisani baamuleetera waliwo abantu abatwalira amateeka mu ngalo olujja bwe wabireeretera ng'omuntu bamusse ako mawulire kyagisani g'oleetera abantu abalala.
Embracing peace and harmony was among the key messages contained in his homily.
Abantu abamu battibwa tewayinzika nungi naye okattako mu nsi tembi awamu nga n'abaana abato balaba abaana abato ne balaba kitaabwe oba nnyabwe battibwa kyana kitole kya myaka etaano mukama muobulamu atudde emyaka 7 watulika ku myaka egyo ekyo kiba kisigadde mu bwongo bwe nga tukuza amazaalibwa ga Kristo omwaka guno twekubamu tooki ebyo byonna ebitakulaakulanya bulungi bulamu bwa muntu tubisuule ebbali.
In attendance was also the Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba, who challenged the faithful to embrace the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination programs.
As we speak now, we are in the time of recovery. And even His Excellency said, come January, the country is going to open fully. Regardless whether people are vaccinated or not. My advice to you who have not been vaccinated get away from the propaganda associated with the vaccination. All of us have been vaccinated, so the most important thing to fight COVID, to prevent COVID, is vaccine.
Minister Nawako also urged the Mityana residents to embrace key government developmental programs such as Emyoga and the parish developmental model.
People were saying that government projects no longer reach the grassroots people. His Excellency the President decided that the parish model should take services nearer to the people. I want to encourage the parish leaders, the respective leaders from the different villages, to go to your leaders, ask, get information on what is available in as far as implementation of the parish model is concerned.
Robert Onyango, Mityana.
Well, thank you so much, Robert Onyango. The senior pastor at Lubaga Miracle Center, Robert Kayanja, has this Christmas Day prayed for leaders across all political divide to desist from the vice of corruption. Pastor Kayanja advocated for demand-driven skills to reduce unemployment in the country. Details follow.
It was a moment of joy and happiness as Christians stand up in big numbers for prayers at Lubaga Miracle Center, Kampala. There was, however, strict observance of the set operating procedures and social distance by whoever turned up. The lead pastor at Miracle Center Cathedral, Robert Kayanja, used the opportunity to warn all leaders against corruption, saying the Lord hates the corrupt.
Africa has poor negotiators. How can we still export our Tanzanite, our copper, our gold, our oil, our everything so that we can receive a finished product? How can we still exporting our cocoa seeds, our coffee beans? Today, who are the negotiators? What makes Jesus? He came from heaven, he came down, he would have negotiated everything heavenly way. But he said, no, I'm going to negotiate a good deal for both the humans and God.
Pastor Robert Kayanja is optimistic that COVID-19 pandemic will be overcome through collaborating with better systems and God to create something for humanity.
The problem with us today as humans, we forget quickly. 50 years ago, the world was faced with a similar pandemic. What did we do? We threw away everything and we thought we can go on our own. We trust in our own new inventions. But how did the world overcome the pandemic of the influenza in 1919? They locked schools. I mean, exactly as we are going through, exactly what's happened. AIDS came. But AIDS is not the only disease that has ever come to wipe away humanity ever since man was created on planet Earth. You find out how did they overcome the Kawumpuli, who was then in that time, which killed a lot of people. You know, social distancing. You know, people were very careful. Whom do you marry? Where are you coming from? From his house, because people knew that if that house has Kawumpuli can be taken out through weddings. And so isolation was never about people of class, whether you are rich or poor.
He advised the flock to deal with God spiritually, for he created mankind in his spirit, hence the need of overcoming their problems spiritually.
I honestly believe that God is a spirit, and he can only be dealt with the spiritual realm. So if we want to deal with God, we deal with him as spirit. Jesus Christ said, I have no flesh and bone. I mean, I have flesh and bones. Spirits don't have flesh and bones. So spirits are spirit in the spiritual realm. And God made man in the image of God, but he made him with the soul and spirit and the body. So that's one of the things. Most of the problems we are having in the world today, they are spiritual problems. They are not physical problems. Because you can take a kid from here, or Afghanistan, or America,
Lubaga Miracle Center prayers were held under strict observance of the COVID-19 guidelines.
Here at Miracle Center Cathedral, Pastor Robert Kayanja has urged all born-agains to reflect on how Mother Mary behaved. Mother Mary was a faithful person who was perfect and claimed the will of God. Tumwine Brand Vyaruhanga, UBC News.
Well, thank you so much to Mwene Byarhanga. Moving on from that, Christians at Caring Hearts Breakthrough Ministries at Kagula Hill in Wakiso District have joined the rest of the world to celebrate Christmas Day, the birth of Jesus Christ. Our reporter John Bansentamu was part of the congregation.
Kagula Hill in Wakiso District has been melodious as Christians at Caring Hearts Breakthrough Ministries celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ. Lead Pastor Paul Musisi was charismatic and a symbol of inspiration as he urged the faithful to celebrate Christmas with love and care.
Christmas is about love. So I appeal to my fellow Ugandans, let us love one another. Let us share whatever we have with the poor and with those who are in need. What will it profit you when you buy like 100 kilos, 100 kilos of meat? You eat, and then after that you throw it away. When there's somebody on the street, when there's somebody in the villages, you know, dying of hunger.
The message from Caring Hearts Breakthrough Ministries is to remain steadfast, even when faced with adversity, especially at family level, which is the pillar that builds a nation.
Even when Christ was talking about the church, he compared it to the family, because the family is very important in the structures of a nation. When families disintegrate, children suffer, they go on streets, they are abused by people, ruthless people. But the secret behind keeping a family together is forgiveness.
The service was punctuated by songs of praise, but also messages to guard against disease like COVID-19 and others. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
The Bishop of Central Busoga Diocese, Right Reverend Patrick Wakula, has asked parents to support girls who got pregnant during the lockdown to return to school. In his Christmas message delivered before hundreds of believers, Bishop Wakula also cautioned parents against domestic violence, saying it affects the well-being of children.
A large number of Christians have gathered at All Saints Cathedral, Iganga District for Christmas prayers, led by the Bishop of Central Busoga Diocese, Right Reverend Patrick Wakula. Bishop Wakula asked parents to support girls who got pregnant during the lockdown period to return to school, but also warned them against domestic violence. The bishop asked Christians to refrain from bad but appreciate God for enabling them go through the hard times of COVID-19.
Moving on from that, as Christians worldwide commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ, in fact, Kagadi District, Reverend Father Christopher Tusime implored Christians to embrace mass vaccination against COVID-19 pandemic, but also strictly observe standard operating procedures during Christmas festivities. Details follow.
Hundreds of Christians in Kagadi District thronged St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Church for Christmas prayers. While delivering his Christmas message, Reverend Father Christopher Tusime asked Christians and the population at large to embrace mass vaccination against COVID-19.
And above all, in the midst of the celebration, just know that COVID is present and real. If you have not been vaccinated, please go and get vaccinated.
He also reminded Christians of the reopening of schools and advised them to spend money sparingly due to the need for children's school fees and scholastic materials as they return to their respective schools.
Let us spend, but not recklessly, well aware that on 10th January, children are going back to school.
Tusime urged Christians to shun domestic violence, hatred, corruption, drunkenness, and adulterous acts, which he says are hindrance to community development. Kagadi District Police Commander Moses Muzima Chichoncho, who also attended the Christmas Day prayers at St. Mary's Catholic Parish, cautioned Christians against excessive drinking and criminal acts, which he said would lead them to spend Christmas festivities in police cells. Story by Andrew Musinguzi for UBC News.
The Vocational Director, KAMPALA Diocese Reverend Father Mubiru, has asked for renewed faith and commitment to the service of Christ beginning this festive season. This was during a Mass he presided over at St. Jude Sub-Parish, Wekiso, where Christians contributed towards purchase of seats and construction of a business centre at the parish.
Fennanga bwe tuli mu bitundu byaffe ebyenjawulo kye tubadde nakyo wano ye parish okuba nti eyongera okwetumbula oba okutumbula emirimu gy'obuweereza egy'obutume songa lwaki tulina ekizimbe business center okuli Centenary Bank yaffe abantu okuba nti bataddemu kingi okuba nti ekizimbe ekyo tukituuse we tukituusiza tulabye ab'ekisomesa kye Wakiso nabo balina ettafaali lye batodde okulaba nti ekizimbe kyaffe kino tukisereka ate ne kigwa bulungi banka ne business endala zigende zikolereko bulungi
nga tulina screen wabweru ekyo kibataddeko tutonye ebintu bingi nga bw'obirabye amakula tuleesa gawerako ddala nezijja kumenya buli kimu na kimu naye nga tuleese osi eziwera gakire ennyingi ddala.
Now, over 80 babies have been born at KAMPALA, mainly KAMPALA National Referral Hospital, beg your pardon, and Lubaga Hospital. The Emmanuels, as the Christmas babies are known, were mainly born in the wee hours of the night.
Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day.
Christmas is a magical time where millions, if not billions of people globally celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the Savior in their Christianity religion. Kampala Metropolitan has had a baby boom with close to 80 mothers giving birth at hospitals in the city. At Kawempe National Referral Hospital, the midwives delivered 80 babies, 48 of whom are male and 32 females.
For this day, today so far, since midnight up to now, we've had 80 deliveries, that is normal deliveries and scissors. And
Sylvia Nantongo, the in-charge of the labor suite, says 30 mothers were still laboring and they expected more 25 babies in the course of the day.
Expecting more to come because they keep on coming.
At Rubaga Hospital, they delivered 2 mothers who both delivered male babies, and the hospital expected more 6 deliveries in the course of the day.
I'm feeling very well and very okay to give birth like on this day. And I thank Jesus Christ because everything was by God. I reached here around 4. It's not easier like on this day to find nurses. And I thank nurses from Rubaga. Really, they have cared for me. We are okay with my baby.
Some of the mothers at Kawempe National Referral Hospital expressed a number of challenges which included delays in service provision. The mothers believe that their babies are blessed since they are born on the same day with Jesus Christ. Dennis Igoa and Jen Kyomugisha for UBC News.
Thank you, Dennis Sigo, and congratulations to all the mom for having blessed children. In most stories, believers have been asked to understand the Jesus Christ and the Jesus that was born and celebrated every Christmas to appreciate the power of faith. This has been a running theme across churches marking Christmas Day at churches in Kampala and beyond. Preachers at Christian Disciple Ministries International Kololo, Divine Children of Broken Heart Chisugu, and Ark of God Church Titetika urge believers to maintain their faith and commitment to the Almighty.
Talk about His goodness, talk about this day, the man behind the day, what He has done, and why He came. Let those kids know. Let the people around you know. Let your relatives know.
Call the scribes. He called the priests. And all the scribes. Tell me, Where the king will be born from.
You should remember why Jesus came. Jesus came to reconcile the man to a man, to reconcile a human being, and secondly, to reconcile God with his people. Repent and change for transformation. If you believe him, he will make sure he bonds you back to your Father, the Creator. I send you a message globally: love one another, reconcile to one another, but also get ready, reconcile with God, for the time is due.
Today is the day when we remember the man behind the day, and his name is Jesus Christ. It's not just a day to eat to our fullness only, but it's also a day to witness, to talk about him, talk about his goodness. So I want to encourage believers who are seeing me today. I know you're going to different places, some of you will be on beaches, but as you're at that beach, someone does not know what is celebrating. Can you talk about him? Can you talk about the man behind the day? And apart from saying Merry Christmas and say Happy birthday for our Lord Jesus Christ, and then talk about him. Also today talked about a man called Simeon, a man who understood the times, a man who was moved to the temple, a man that the Lord had promised that he will not see death unless he has seen the Messiah. So that day he went to the temple when Jesus was brought to be dedicated, and moved by the Spirit, he knew this was Jesus. He took him by hands and began to speak words.
Most shops within Kampala Central Buses district have remained closed as billions across the world celebrate Christmas. Saddam Mubale moved across the city and reports the whereabouts and how Kampala was deserted, but in the outskirts of Kampala, business was usual. Details follow.
Most shops in Central Business District in Kampala remained closed, with the ever-busy congested city that normally collects thousands of city dwellers. In downtown Kampala, a handful of people could still be seen. The situation outside Kampala was different. In the outskirts of Kampala, it is business as usual, with most businessmen and women parading their products and merchandise for sale, taking advantage of the absence of the Kampala Capital City Authority enforcement officers to earn their daily bread.
Nange nsazeewo nkole kuba olw'ensonga ennaku endala bwenkola nze nali badde ngamba nti nno oba nkoleko njiya akasente sitekanse ntwalaganya okitegeera nebanga ekugoba kati nange kano ke kaseera mwenfunidde okulaba nga nkola kuba sitekanse ebe ennaku ezisigadde engobaganya buki bugubaganya
gamba embeera esinze ekiviiriddeko ekintu okubeera bwekityo okubanga abantu nabo baavu kobera covid naye atukutte nnyo naye tusaba omukulembeze atusaasire atute nga bwe yabadde asituubiza atute tuddemu tukwasaganye emirimu gyaffe nga tubaye tugikwasaganya kubanga abantu nabo banyuka mangu.
Those we managed to talk to attest that hard economic times have stopped them from traveling from Christmas back home.
Kati abaana mu kubanga baddamu osoma, abazadde bali mu kunoonya ssente z'abaana, abamu bapangisa, abamu balina looni mu bbanka. Kati obuzibu lwaki abantu bakola ku Christmas.
For the first time in the year, Kampala city is deserted, with a handful of motorists cruising on empty roads. The echoes of silence that looms around NAMIREMBE Street, one of the busiest business communities in Kampala Central Business District, is an indication to show that hundreds, if not thousands, have remained home or traveled up country for Christmas. Saddam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Believers across the country have been advised to embrace the vaccination exercise as a way of avoiding further spread of COVID-19 come 2022. This was contained in a Christmas sermon by Pastor Richard Wangwe of Deliverance Church, Kida.
It was all songs and praise as Christians gathered at Deliverance Church in Kira to celebrate Christmas. We used this opportunity to give his message of salvation and hope to the nation. Pastor Richard Wangwe is optimistic that if people turn to God and pray with humility, disasters like COVID-19 will be a thing of the past.
And I'm praying that again this thing will not come back to terrorize us, that we shall learn to live with it by obeying all SOPs that have been advised and living as keeping our distance and making sure that we are safe. And above everything, please go and get vaccinated so that all of us can joyfully enter in 2022 ready to work, ready to prosper, ready to embrace the gospel.
Pastor Richard Wangwa is optimistic that if people turn to God and pray with humility, disasters like COVID-19 will be a thing of the past.
Once we are vaccinated, once we adhere to the SOPs, I know that the Lord is going to bless us. And then the second thing is this: let us all turn to Christ. We have realized that with Christ, there's nothing impossible. We can have these vaccines, we can have all these SOPs, but without Christ in your heart protecting you, it doesn't carry the weight.
During the service led by Pastor Titus Owundo, the message of salvation, love and peace was prominent. Pastor Titus Owundo, however, advises people to prepare for the future by investing in innovation and new ideas to manage future disasters.
We have some little money that we have on us. We're encouraging our members to make sure they are productive. Even up country, in many places where you can't depend on the city alone, to be more innovative. Because COVID came as a surprise, like you have said. But you see, if you're not innovative, and to think about the fact that tomorrow can be a hard day, innovative in terms of ideas, we have told our people, make sure that you are not just working in the box, get out of the box. You have been a teacher, yes, think about something beyond teaching.
Christians were urged to embrace the spirit of love, peace and sharing as they celebrate Christmas and end of the year 2021.
Provision. Christmas, at least we want to thank God. We've been able to come to church and fellowship.
At Deliverance Church in Kira, prayers were held with strict observance of COVID-19 guidelines, with the church conducting devotion sessions at intervals.
Very important keynote there is that Christ is the one that actually saves. Now, people living with disability are calling for equity and special care mainly in the education sector and also service delivery. This was disclosed by the Executive Director, National Association of People Living with Cerebral Palsy, Christine Chidonji in Chiwanga, Mukono.
Cerebral palsy is a dysfunction that affects the brain when a baby or a person is growing up, mainly children below 10 years. The Executive Director, National Association of People Living with Cerebral Palsy, Christine Kirungi, says she acquired cerebral palsy at the age of 9 and to date she is living with it.
One of the first signs that the child has acquired this cerebral palsy during delivery when the child doesn't cry.
She says that most people don't take palsy diseases seriously, yet when it grows it becomes expensive to treat.
To our government, the Ministry of Health, we really need you. We are living in isolation with our families because the society is not aware about this condition. A lot of myth has been attached to this condition, which has led to several marginalization and human rights abuse. We are not enjoying our being, yet we are human beings. Therefore, help us to raise awareness so that we can be fully accepted and enjoy and be able to interact within our society.
Karungi advises the Ministry of Education and Sports to emphasize special care for children living with palsy and also advises the Ministry of Health to attend to cerebral palsy needs.
The Ministry of Education, very few. Even if I ask now, out of the candidates who start exams, how many people with cerebral palsy, let it be primary or secondary, even campus start for exams, you might find even 0. If there are many, they can be like 2 or 1. So our constituency is illiterate. And why? Because our needs are not being addressed. The teachers, they are not trained on how to address our needs. Me, I studied but I can't write. I used not to write. And I faced a number of challenges because I cannot sit in class and get a book and write, a pen and write. Most schools used to reject me. So we need teachers to know how we can be supported. The support, yes, it's there at UNEB, but how will I reach at UNEB exams when I'm not supported from the beginning?
Kirungi, however, advises parents to ensure that when such signs are observed from their children, they are handled accordingly.
I used not to feed myself, and my family, they could first or eat and then they feed me later, or they could feed me first and then, you know, but it was something that my family was patient with. One day my mom said, Christine, here is the food. Whether you eat or you leave, it's up to you. And you know what? I started by scooping food with my mouth from the plate. That was one of the most important steps that I recall in my life. That from there I started, you know, changing. So give them the safe space to experience and to exercise. Don't be so protective.
Uganda National Association of Cerebral Palsy is a non-government organization established in 2013 to advocate for people living with cerebral palsy. Story compiled by Kenneth Tanawa for UBC News.
Thank you so much, Christine, for making a difference and for being a voice for all those that have been affected by cerebral palsy. And we know that the government is going to take initiative and do so much more on that. We'll take a short business break and we'll be back with business stories.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 thank you points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More thank you points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
I am one of the millions of people who have been vaccinated. And today I want to ask you to choose to be vaccinated so that we can all go back to enjoying the Uganda we all love. A country that is one of the most entrepreneurial in the world with the most friendly people. A country where we can do business with anyone at any time. A country that is free of COVID-19. So, get vaccinated today in any of the verified health centers and let's bring business back to Uganda. COVID-19 vaccines are free of charge, safe and available.
Invest in your health. Invest in Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Investment Authority.
Raising Voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, What is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment.
Thanks,
Mom. Nurture the moment with Minute Maid Delight, now available in apple flavor in the 400ml ready-to-drink pack.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Sulga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and it's just 46 minutes, which means we have about 14 minutes to come to the end of this bulletin. In our business stories, the tea processing factory in Buhweju district has blocked tea farmers in the area from supplying it more tea leaves before the already supplied green leaf is processed. Now, the management of the factory says that their capacity can process all the tea leaves supplied by the farmers. Farmers supply over 200,000 kilograms of green leaf per day, yet the factory can only process 85,000 kilograms. They now want government to immediately intervene and provide them with more processing lines.
Over 3,000 tea farmers in Buhweju district are in tears as the only tea processing factory in their area has stopped buying their green leaf. The green leaf is currently rotting on tea sheds, which is a big loss to the farmers.
Because this factory here and another factory in Nigara and many other factories cannot absorb this amount of tea. As you can see, we have this factory here in Buhweju has a capacity of about 80,000 kilograms per day. But right now we are getting over 250,000 kilograms per day. In fact, right now we cannot absorb any tea from the farmers.
Currently, all the tea holding troughs at the factory are full to capacity and cannot accommodate more supplies from the farmers.
Because we are heaping them and we are using them as storage instead of conditioning the tea leaves for processing, and that affects the quality of the product that we make from these tea leaves.
Government supplied over 125 million tea seedlings to Buhweju district residents, but it didn't put into consideration completion of the entire value chain. Tea is the only source of livelihood for the majority of the people of Buhweju district. The only available tea processing factory has got 2 lines which are also worn out.
We appreciate the government for giving us the seedlings, and we did justice and planted those seedlings. We planted the tea, but now it's out of hand. We definitely have to move very fast and establish more factories to absorb the green leaf that we have in Greater Bushenyi district.
It is estimated that farmers in the area harvest over 200,000 kilograms per day, but the factory can only receive and process only 85,000, leaving the rest to rot or used for mulching.
It is supplied by a total of over 3,000 active tea farmers whose livelihoods depend on cultivation of tea. So the moment we do not correct their supply, then their livelihoods are affected. They cannot send their kids to school and they cannot meet their day-to-day life demands.
They now request government to consider an urgent intervention and provide them with at least 2 processing lines in Ijara and Buhweju tea processing factories. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senki points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senki points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senki points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
This holiday season is all about kujienjoy, kupiga sherehe na kuget lit na kupata way more than you expected. Soon to be father. Kwenye Showmax original film Baba Twins. It's about kuget jina lako kwenye limelight in Famous. First and only on Showmax. I need to discover who I am without you. And it's about kuchotwa na drama or holding on for dear life in the telenovela Kina.
No matter what.
Form ni kupiga sherehe kiwewe na hii yote iko just a click away. Get festive, get Showmax.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Suga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
In our international stories, Pope Francis has warned that the world is becoming so desensitized to crisis and suffering that they're now happening while hardly being noticed. In his annual Christmas Day message, the pontiff pointed to ongoing turmoil in Syria, Yemen and Iraq, as well as in areas of Africa, Europe and Asia. He also said the effects of the pandemic threatened efforts to resolve conflicts on an international level. He spoke outdoors again this year after making his speech indoors last year. Thousands of Catholic faithful were wearing a mask amid COVID precautions watched in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican as the Pope delivered his Urbi et Orbi address from the balcony of Basilica. Pope Francis warned against the social consequences of the pandemic, saying that there is a growing tendency to withdraw, to stop making an effort to encounter others and do things together. He said that on the international level too, there's the risk of avoiding dialogue, the risk that this complex crisis will lead to taking shortcuts rather than setting out on the longer path to resolve conflicts.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Capital Shoppers, we have a variety of items like gift hampers, foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience this festive season at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: in Tinda Stretcher Road, opposite Makere Business School along Port Bell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senki points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senki points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senki points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senki points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You're still watching UBC News National Sports Stories. Former Uganda Crane star striker Beka Kasigwa has called for hard work to the current crop in order for them to benefit from their talent during this time of abundance. Kasigwa was part of the congregation at Caring Hearts Breakthrough Ministries on Christmas service, during which the work of Christ manifested in him. Take a look.
Manifested in Beka Kasigwa, a former Uganda Crane star who's suffering from stroke. The 87-year-old Beka Kasigwa has been bedridden for a while and turned up for Christmas prayers at Caring Hearts Breakthrough Ministries in a wheelchair. But no sooner had the lead pastor here, Paul Moses, started delivering the word of God than Kasigwa got up from his seat, praised God, and walked a few meters. Flanked by his wife and son, Kasigwa and the entire congregation were filled with emotions by this sight, which the family says is the first he has achieved in about 3 months.
There is power! There is power in the name of Jesus! There is power! There is power!
The Cranes ex-player advised God first to all, and to the current crop of players hard work in order for them to scale the heights in a world now full of opportunities. In his capacity as the chairperson of the Former Footballers Initiative, Pastor Paul Moses offered gifts to Kasigwa, who now, for his medical needs, is under his custody. Former Footballers Initiative is a non-profit-making organization that caters for its contemporaries that are in need especially for health and their children's education. Kasigwa was part of the Uganda Cranes team that toured Europe in the 1950s, but is most renowned for playing barefooted. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
So excited to see Kasigwa look more healthy and better now. Arua City is to get the perfect Christmas gift with a section of its own, really insisting a boxing club that collapsed in 2004. They plan to include the youth, especially schools, to grow the club to heights it reached many years ago.
Now we want to sell the concept to the public, to really tell the public what really boxing means. We don't want to associate boxing with the violence and violent activities.
On the Boxing Day, which is this Sunday, Arua will be lit by the launch of a boxing club that intends to scale the heights, not only in the West Nile region, but the entire country. It's the brainchild of Rashidi Osino, who is also the club's president. We are heading to the launch of Arua Boxing Club. We started this club, the club is registered as CBO. We identify talents. I know Arua as a place
that has basketful skills of boxing, and we don't want it to fade away like that. And our goal is to identify potential boxers that will later represent the region and also represent the nation at large. We started this and we fronted like 2 ladies who are right now competing in semi-finals of Uganda Boxing Federation.
The club's public relations officer, Papa Rashid Sebagala, advises the youth to register this club, which he says will exhibit professionalism.
These are young youths, because if we say we take membership, we are going to limit talents. So currently, things about membership fee, we are not there. We are just now volunteering ourselves to see that all these youths should come up and be something else in future.
We are trying all possible ways of introducing boxing to schools. We also want to introduce school boxing championships in primary level, which is going to be adopted in the central division, to push it through the council that it is fully adopted as one of the sporting events in the division.
The club was originally formed in the 1990s, but when its founders, especially from the forces, were transferred to other areas, it became defunct. The club, which is now registered as a community-based organization, will want to solicit for funds in order to implement a 10-year plan.
Thank you so much for watching UBC News tonight. That's all we had for you for now. Do join us again tomorrow, same time. And well, thank you so much. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to those that haven't yet experienced it. Well, Merry Christmas once again. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Magalu Mohammed on Sign Language. Good night.
Come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like gift hampers, foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience this festive season at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: in Tinder Station Road, opposite Makere